Hey guys, so a few months ago I happened to be at a Shabbat meal or at a Kiddush in a Chabad. I won't say where, somewhere in the this tri-state area, and a lot of the people who go to this Chabad are not Shomer Shabbat, not really super active Jewishly, so to speak. And I started talking to this one guy, about the situation in Israel and everything like that. And the guy said to me, and this is a guy who doesn't like Trump at all. Like he would categorize himself as a, Democrat. I don't know if he'd use the term left wing, but he's a Democrat, right? This guy. But then he told me, and we were talking about Israel and what should be done with Hamas and everything like that. And then he goes to me, everything changed on October 7th. Because he agreed we can't do the two-state solution anymore. He used to think that way, and now he doesn't think that way, right? He said everything changed on October 7th. And I said to him, and I'm going to tell you guys what I said to him. What do you mean everything changed? What do you mean? Nothing changed. And guys, some of you might be offended by what I'm saying. But for me, as a citizen of Israel, granted, I moved to Israel in 2010 originally, the first time, my first go around. And a person who's been paying attention to what's been going on in Israel probably since I was basically since the first Gulf War, since I first saw Scud missiles flying at Israel live on TV. That was my first understanding of what goes on, what can go on in Israel, right? What Israel has to live with, right? On occasion. So I told the guy, oh, you mean the Dolphinarium bombing in Tel Aviv was not enough for you? The Netanya Passover massacre was not enough for you? Frankly, I don't remember the years that this happened. These all happened 20 or 25 years ago. Or maybe even 30 years ago. The Itamar Fogel family massacre wasn't enough for you? The Sparrow Pizzeria bombing in Jerusalem 25 years ago was not enough for you? Or 24 years ago, in the year 2001. The attack of Ari Fold wasn't enough for you? Folks, we just released, and I didn't mention this to him, but I'm just letting you know, we just released a person who was involved in the planning of the Netanya attack, Passover hotel attack. He was involved in planning. We just released him in exchange for one of our hostages. Folks, these people, so here's the idea of the whole thing. These orcs who we're dealing with, they remember all this stuff. For them, these are like holidays. You know how we remember, when this happened and when that happened? L'chavdil, major L'chavdil. When Chabad, Chabad has their their holidays, which I participate in, when this person was let out of prison, when this person, this rabbi, that. Folks, these orcs remember when they had these attacks, when they committed these attacks on us, and they remember who exactly was involved, who are their so-called heroes, right? But aside from that, guys, those were not enough for you? I mean, all those events that I mentioned, they were waves, giant waves in the ocean of blood that has been caused by our enemies over the years. October 7th was a tsunami. That's the only difference. That's literally the only difference. October 7th was a tsunami, and these things were waves, very big waves. But this was a big one. This was the very big one. tsunami of blood. So my friends, what changed? Not only what changed for us, what we call ontological shock, but what changed after in how Israel deals with its enemies? You could say, well, Tzvi, what do you mean? We went here, we went there, we basically, razed Gaza to the ground and went into Lebanon, we eliminated Nasrallah, But my friends, in terms of how we deal with our enemies, what really changed? Did we stop sending them trucks and trucks of aid to be stolen by Hamas? And then where Hamas literally punishes and beats and jails anybody who tries to intercept the aid, meaning any of their people who actually try to get the aid that's supposed to come to them, knowing that Hamas is going to steal it? Did we stop sending them tons and tons of food? No, we didn't. My friends, what changed? Did we stop exchanging orcs, their orcs for 1,000 orcs for one person, one of ours? Did we stop doing that? Did we do anything differently than what we did with the Gilad Shalit fiasco? By the way, where one of them was Yahya Sinwar, who planned October 7th. Did we change anything? My friends, I ask you with respect. As we say, I'm not trying to be a dick, right? What changed? What changed, by way of the actual attack? And what actually changed afterwards? The only things I could see that changed was anything that Hashem basically forced us into, pushed us into a corner where we literally were forced to act, right? Whether it's Lebanon, whether it's, anything to do with Gaza. And even we ended up in the other side of the Hermon in Syria, right? Did we plan on it? No. Just like we didn't plan on taking the Golan and Judea and Samaria in 1967, and maybe even the Old City. We didn't. That wasn't. Maybe a couple people had it in their heads. Maybe we could do it, but that wasn't really the plan. My friends, I ask you really with a genuine heart and from a genuine perspective, what changed? Really, if you really actually analyze the trajectory of the last, let's say, 30 years, I'm just being, kind of conservative here, of what's been going on in Israel with respect to our enemies, and then how we deal with that, what has changed? And also what they've been doing to us, or trying to do to us, what has changed? Again, guys, I'm genuinely asking. What do they call it? The guy, what's his name? Steven Crowder, where he sits at a table in a university, and he he puts a question or a statement, a placard, and he says, "Change my mind." My friends, I challenge you in a friendly way, in a loving way, change my mind. What changed really as a result of and after October 7th? How our enemies are, with us, with respect to us, and also how we respond to them. Especially given that it's been about a year and a half and nobody knows what the goal is. As my friend Frank asked the question, he's like, what is this war about? Are we even fighting a war? That's another question. But what is the goal? Is the goal to take over Gaza? Some say yes, some say no. Is the goal to have, Trump and UAE and whoever administer it? I don't know. Is the goal to just destroy Hamas and leave it in a pile of rubble and just leave it like some kind of nether world for whomever to just come and, do whatever they want? Nobody knows. Some say yes, some say no. Folks, when you have a war, you can't just have an objective to it's good, it's nice that you want to destroy the enemy, but you also need an objective, what happens afterwards. And yes, you can't hide it from the people. You can't have a secret plan. You have to tell the people, here's what we're going to do after we're through with this crap. What's the goal, guys? So I asked the question, what changed in how our enemies are towards us, even as a result of October 7th, and how we are towards ourselves, how we deal with our enemies and how we are in terms of how we fight wars. Please, my friends, I want you to change my mind. If you have personal attacks, that's not what this is for. If you want to attack me, that's fine. It's not going to change my question, right? And it's not going to negate the reality of my question, because it is a reality, right? Change my mind. Okay, guys. Talk to you soon.